Showtime. Okay. I am not happy with my setup, actually. But what the hell? This is the best I could do in this. I have to make this work. But anyway, hey, welcome everybody to our 279th consecutive meeting of Thinking Out Loud with Friends of SoundBroker, a non-political show where we talk about everything about life that and we try to bring a little humidity. With a lot of humidity here. We try to meet some humility and some humor. That's it, humor. That's the word I'm looking for. So if you need a good laugh and you want to perceive the fact that you can be part of this public conversation, hey, join us. And remember to give us a thumbs up. And now back to the show in progress. Anyway, so yeah, there's so much going on in the world right now, and it's nice to get away. You know, one of the guys in the room, Greg, was saying that, hey, he likes to watch Friends, right? But I
Or
was thinking
whatever.
another great show would be Cheers, because
Mhm.
whenever you want to go to a place where people know your name, hey, this is it. We might know your name, but we know this is a fun place to be. So with that, I want to bring on a special guest, Wayne Sims, because he always makes it fun.
Nothing like putting
Well,
him on the spot.
yes,
Yeah, well, he's
that
all
was
the way
putting
down
it
in Australia. I mean, hey, he could hide easily. That's
where,
it. He
where I
can hide.
where I did a show in Tumbarumba last
That's
last
right.
Saturday. Now there's a town to look up. It's a great little spot. It has a duck race once a year. You buy your duck, and it runs down the creek, and
A
if
rubber duck, right?
yeah, little ones. Swim,
Not a live.
swim, little duckies, swim.
Is it
And
like a pet rubber ducky?
no, just little coloured ones, about that big.
Yep.
Did you name it?
No, they're all colours, and just they put them in the creek, and you get your number, and you buy your duck, and off it goes down the creek. And they have music as well. It's a great little town. It's a great little. It's up in the hills, sort of up in the hills. And anyway, I worked there on the weekend doing electrons. And so here's a piece of trivia. This is a bit of silliness, but do we eat electrons?
Do we eat electrons? We eat everything.
Yeah, I know, but do they have electrons in them? The matter?
Everything has electrons in it.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
I
So
agree.
They
I
may
agree.
not be moving.
Nucleuses.
the and what's those? So I was another thing came on the day. They're building something in the States over there where they're studying not neutrons. What are those other little fellas that are part of
Photons?
matter? They're building
Subatomic
it.
stuff.
No, I've forgotten the name of them now. Anyway, I watched a documentary and it was unreal. It's the deepest mine in the world apparently, and they're building a research station at the bottom of it. And
Yeah, it's something like one of these particles comes by so frequently and they're so small.
they go straight through us.
Yeah, they go straight through.
Neutrinos, they're called.
Neutrinos, yeah.
Anyway, it was an
That's right. It's also a breakfast cereal, that I like as well. When I'm not eating oatmeal, I'm using neutrinos. Delicious. Good with a little honey and jam. That's it.
That's the one with George Jetson on the cover of the cereal box, right?
That's it. George Stetson and his wife Jane.
That was a good cartoon too.
I used to watch it for daughter Judy. That's it. That's it. That's it.
I want to go back to something Wayne said about hills. You have hills in Australia?
Yeah, they're mild ones compared to Canada. They're like little bumps, but we have the highest mountains, Mount Kosciuszko, and I think it's about 7,000 feet in.
Oh, that's good.
But that's the highest one, and it gets a bit chilly in the wintertime. Oh no, there's a fair amount of hills. Most of it's flat though. Most of the Australia's flat. I would suggest you would say.
That's in eastern Australia, right, where the mountains are?
Yeah, down south in not that far from here, about 350, 400 k's, I suppose, to Mount Kosciuszko.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing, Greg, because you get out there. So the Finnish Institute of Health and Welfare in Helsinki, did a study and found that visiting nature 3 to 4 times a week was associated with 36% lower odds of using blood pressure pills, 33% odds lower of mental health medication, and 26% lower odds of using asthma medication. So visiting nature is good. Get out there. I
Canada is
posted my
amazing
blood
place.
pressure results. Oh, by the way, I want to share some good news. As you all know, if you don't know, I had prostate cancer. And the key word in that sentence is I had prostate cancer. I went through John Hopkins medical program where I went through a thing called brachytherapy, and then I did beam therapy. And it's now been a year, and I got my results back yesterday again, and my PSA was below 0. And now I got great news is that my testosterone is back to 761. Now, not bad for a 74-year-old man. Do your own research. But I am happy. I got a new lease on life, and I want to thank the doctors over at John Hopkins. So thanks, guys. You saved my life, and now I've got a new life. So that's wonderful. And if anybody out there is going through prostate cancer and needs anybody to talk to or advice or anything along those lines, although I'm not a doctor, I do play one on TV. Hey, anything I say will be an opinion, so do your own research, but I'm more than welcome, and you're more than welcome to talk to me. So please feel free to reach out. Okay, there you go. What else is going on?
Well, I'm noticing that Mr. Porter is not in his kitchen preparing supper tonight.
He's
Really, I
working
have to
late.
look.
Working late.
Let's go
Kurt's,
switch over
Kurt's
here.
traveling somewhere. Kurt's traveling along.
Yeah.
He's in
Anyway.
the truck.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Ken Porter's office. I've
Oh,
been
is it?
there. Yes. And if you ever go there, don't drink the tea unless you want to get drunk. That's all I could say. Sweet tea, I had no idea what it was, but down there in Nashville, sweet tea is the bomb, man. I'll tell you. Very, very good tasting. Hey, listen, speaking of very good tasting, Kurt, what do you got to say? That's our chef of the week here. Every week or every day, he cooks something really humongously good.
I
If you're
don't
not
know.
following him on Facebook,
I don't know what I'll do for Wild Card Wednesday. I got about an hour and a half of driving left.
So he
where are you headed to or from?
Just flew a minor X80 and X40 rig at the casino that we do in the round for a Humane Society gala.
Oh, very cool.
Nice. So
And
the
back.
'80s really fill it in. You don't have to bring any subs for it, or
We've got two 900s that will just be on an aux, kind of on the edges of the room facing in, which is something I don't like to do, but there isn't room under the stage. And the only low frequency is, a couple of play-ons and, walk-in music, maybe a little bit of video low end. So it's, in the round, it's kind of like hard to put the subs, like there's nowhere to
right?
fly them. That stage isn't tall enough to put them underneath. So this works for what we're doing. I wouldn't want to do it for music, but for this application, it's fine.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, that sounds like you got something going on, and that's a good thing. Really
I've
good thing.
always
I'm
got
glad you're
something
working.
going on.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, there's Ken Porter, still at his office, so he must got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's been kind of busy. I was just checking in for a minute. I'm getting ready to go to dinner with the family. So it's my daughter's birthday. So
Oh, happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah.
So are you doing Zach Brown? Is that one of your clients?
He's talking to somebody.
Zach Brown is not one. Zach Brown. No, that's Bramer Special Event Services does Zach Brown.
Well, they just got picked up for a bunch more dates over at the Sphere. They're going to be doing the Sphere. I guess Kenny Chesney led the way, and now Zach Brown is coming through, and he just picked up a bunch more dates. You know what I heard? I heard it's something like $100,000 a minute to create the video for the Sphere for a show.
E-
Has anybody heard
Easily.
that?
Yeah, last week, somebody on Robert and Sully were talking about that, and
Oh, that's where I heard it.
yeah, yeah, and well, what do you want for 16K or 18K video?
Yeah,
You
you know,
imagine how much, what a file would be for just one video frame. I mean, they're massive. That's a
have no
lot of
idea.
data.
I have no idea. That's way above my pay grade. You know.
Mhm.
Hey, by the way, has anybody heard of Tilly Norwood in the room? Tilly Norwood.
Ooh.
Okay, you will be hearing about Tilly Norwood. Tilly Norwood is a totally AI generated character. And they're trying to make, I'll read this. Tilly Norwood debuts at the Zurich Summit as the industry grapples with emerging tech. We want her to be the next Scarlett Johansson. It's 100% AI. And it was in Variety this week. And basically it is causing a huge uproar in the film industry
Yeah.
right now.
Really pretty.
Um,
Yeah, I
she's
forgot
super
about
pretty,
yeah, yeah, I forgot about her name, but I read it today. I forgot her name, but yeah, it was in the news today here.
Anyway, the company's called Particle 6. You could Google them and go look at their front page. And if that doesn't put the fear of God into you, of where AI is taking us, nothing will. I mean, you cannot tell. Well, actually, you can tell because if you look at the writing, that's one thing that AI doesn't do very well, is when you look at the writing or the fingers. They still haven't gotten that down to a science, but they are coming awfully close to getting it together, Very, very too scary for me.
Yeah, the what I read about it, the controversy was Particle 6 was shopping this AI actress. They want a booking agent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
also, would they want like a big name to sign on, and so like they could replace her, but she doesn't have to do the gig type
right,
thing? She gets
right.
money, but she doesn't have to do the gig.
Well, so far, the AI isn't entitled to any money whatsoever from royalties. And then there was an article about Spotify and TikTok. Let me see if I could find that article. Yeah, OpenAI to launch a TikTok-like social app for AI videos without the opt-in copyright. So basically, I mean, and I saw this coming because you don't have to pay royalties. So Spotify, TikTok, all of these social media platforms that produce content, YouTube video, all of these companies are looking at a way to save money, and the best way to save money is not pay royalties. And if they're creating AI characters and AI music and AI songs, they don't have to pay anything.
I
And
know, but
it's
I get it. But I mean, listen to some of the top 10 stuff, and I'm not saying that some of it's not good, but if you listen to some of it, I couldn't tell if it was written, if it was done by an AI or by a guy on his computer in his bedroom. It's,
Right.
there's not a lot of difference now. So, you know, I think it's the line is getting really, really thin between what's being produced out there today and what AI can do.
Yeah, I could see broadcasters using AI talking heads very easily. You know, why pay these millions of dollars for these, um, you know, supposed talking head stars when
It
they'll
might be
just get, huh?
might be time for some flannel wearing hooligans from the Pacific Northwest to upset the industry again.
Yeah.
the hooligans.
Gotta come back and do it again. I already did this once.
Yeah. Hey, is there a band named the Hooligans? There must be the
Oh
There,
Hooligans.
there
yeah.
was one.
Sure
There
there
was
is.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool, you know.
Did
But I would say, man, that like the deep fakes that are out there right now, it is so hard to tell, and it's just getting better. I mean, these deep fakes are getting better and better, and it's really hard to tell what's real, what's imagined, what's AI, and what do it's a very confusing time out there,
there's an
you know.
ad, there's an ad in Canada where it's actually a deep fake of our prime minister, and it's not stopped. They haven't stopped it. And it's out there with the prime minister says, "Hey, if you do this, we'll give you $1,000 or whatever." And they're using our prime minister like the equivalent of your president. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that's pretty amazing. So, but it's this is what we're living in. But we were talking about Tilly Norwood, and I keep saying to you guys that I really feel sorry for the kids that are growing up today because the AI characters that they create, and in this Particle 6 ad that they do on their website, it says, I could make her do or say anything. And what really scares me is that the kids of today are going to be living with AI characters as they grow up, and it's going to
yeah,
influence their
okay.
thinking.
Yeah, let me be play the other side. We were raised on watching cartoon characters. They're not watching, we were raised watching Bugs Bunny, and we were raised watching this and watching that and different stuff. So to them, it's going to be the norm. They're used to it. They're expecting it. I don't think they're in shock at all. They don't need to see Tom Cruise. It's going to be fine if it's something else. I don't think that the kids or I mean, us, we're going to be upset that the next Beatle is going to be an AI, but to them, it's an expected thing. That's the way I see it for them. That's
Yeah, but
just
I'm not thinking along that. I'm thinking about romanticness. I'm thinking about a way of where they're going to be able to create friends, girlfriends, boyfriends that are impossible to match in real life. And it's going to
uh,
set their
uh,
expectations too high.
boys are boys, and they're going to want real women. I hate to say this, but you know,
Well, what I'm saying to you is that it's like the same thing. Okay, in the old days, in the very old days, before there was TV and radio and all of that, the sign of an attractive woman was a hectic woman, a woman because that showed she had money. So people were attracted, especially if you look in the Renaissance days. Most of the women, there's no paintings of really thin women from those days. All of the women have some heft to them. Well, then modeling came along and motion
Twiggy,
pictures. Yeah.
Twiggy.
And then all of a sudden the thought process went, wow, we want thin. Well, now you could create muscles. You could create anything you want in what appears to be another human being. And especially now as they go into deeper technology where it is holographic, where it's three-dimensional. And they are working on that now. Really working on that. Immersive video and especially with the headsets, like with Apple's headset, although it's quite expensive, the Vision Pro, that kind of stuff. I think this is a sad place for us to be. You know, I mean,
So do
that's what
we,
I think.
so do we lose the artistic um,
It
input to
depends on the
music and
algorithm.
I mean, have you guys been watching Rick Beato lately?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and Rick is really experimenting with the digital aspect of like a company called Sono,
Yeah.
where you could create music, and then you can go to Hey Gen and then create a visual image. I mean, there was this guy right now that's doesn't know anything about music at all, but he's a visual designer. I mentioned it last week. I can't seem to find his name right now. But basically, he's created this visual image and he's got over 3 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know shit about music. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I was able to type in the words and it created a song for me. And then I created the visual images and people are watching it.
he got like 3 million hits.
Yeah.
You know,
Daniel something or other, I believe his name was.
before I forget, did Mr. Newman go see Paul McCartney yet?
Not yet.
Don't know.
However,
Okay.
that's
Oh, Kenny, good to see you.
in a few days. But I
Okay.
did go to see Benson Boone, and I wanted to ask the group if anybody knows anything about the Benson Boone show sound-wise,
Nope.
Nope.
because I could not find a mixed position anywhere in the audience.
See you,
What do
Ken.
you know, Ken? Oh, bye, Ken. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. His daughter's birthday, Kenny.
Oh, nice.
So there was no mixed position?
Not that I could see. I scanned the whole place. We had really good seats, just up a little bit from the floor. The floor was all what I guess you would call a mosh pit, as in people just standing around. But there was plenty of room to have a mixed position at one end of the floor, which would have been fine. But there was nothing anywhere that I could see. So
Could he be
I
mixing
ha-
from backstage?
That's what I
have a
thought.
feeling, right, Greg? Yeah. What do you think?
That's what I'm thinking.
It sort of sounded like that because when the crowd got really loud, his voice didn't get any louder to get over the crowd, if you know what I mean. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm mixing a show and the crowd is so loud that I can't hear my artist, I turn up the artist a little bit so that he can be heard by the audience,
Yeah, but
Well,
you should, and it also turns.
Could anybody make out what Kurt said?
No, I
No.
didn't.
No.
I
Just
said
like
when you
normal.
do that, it also turns up the audience.
Well, of course, but it's they can only go so loud, and I can go louder, usually.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, you can.
Because you have the fader.
Yeah,
So
but I
speaking
don't
of
get me wrong.
speaking
Don't
of
get me wrong,
that, speaking of
it
that,
sounded great. It sounded
how are you
great,
doing
but
with the Pernelli Awards? Have you been nominated yet? I mean, I nominated
the
you, but
the nominations end when? I don't know, in about a month or something. I think at the beginning of November or something. So we have like more time to place more nominations, but we won't know until then. And based on my link, the link that I sent out, only a few people have actually used that link. So compared to last
put it
year,
in the
when
chat right now. Put it in the chat right now.
the link was used over 200 times last time, and
Well,
I
put
still
it in the
didn't get
chat right
nominated.
now, and we'll spread it around. I'll put it up.
Right.
I'll put it up on you, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the comments because Ken Newman's link to nominate him for the Pernelli will be in our comments. Okay.
By
There
the
you
way,
go.
Ken, your January 28th show here in Tampa is half sold out already. And they just announced tickets on let me see, last Thursday, almost a week. You're muted if you're talking to us.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah,
That's
right.
good.
Sorry.
That's
How big is that? How big is that venue? I'm guessing it's a 10,000 seat
It's an arena. It's where it's where the Tampa Bay Lightning play.
Interesting. Well, he tends to sell tickets if he hasn't been to a place in a while, especially lately because people are like trying to see him before he stops performing.
Right.
That's right. And every tour, it's Barry Manilow, and every tour he's doing right now could be his last tour. I think
Absolutely.
that's how I mean, if I remember correctly, didn't he do the last tour of Europe before he's doing another last tour of Europe?
Absolutely.
So before
yeah.
anybody asks, Ken, I'm making a visit request, a humble visit
Oh,
request.
that'll be great. Tampa. We're playing Tampa. I don't even remember
Yep.
seeing that on the schedule.
January
Of course,
28th.
of course. Well, of course, you know your way into the venue, I bet.
Yeah, probably.
And
If
then,
not,
but if
I'll
you want
just
tickets,
drop
if you
your
want
name.
tickets, just let me know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
There
I
you go.
I'm just looking for that link right now, so I'll find it.
back to the subject of could you get louder than the I remember going to see Duran Duran in their heydays, and the PA could not get on top of the crowd.
Right.
Young girls screaming at the top of their
Oh
lungs.
my God, that's what I heard last night. 110 dB on my meter.
There you go.
Yeah. Same thing. I did with Malcolm Hill. We did Culture Club, and with M3s, did he?
Okay.
And when we got them back, because we have floor stacks and that kind of stuff, all of them were scrawled with lipstick on them on all the bids. And because that was the
What
thing.
act was this? What act was
Country
this?
Club, Boy
Really,
George
I didn't
Country
realize
Club.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
how many
and
years
the
ago was
tour,
that?
80,
5.
82, 83,
Okay.
82.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
And our tour buses, they were just plastered, all with lipstick. That was the thing. And the poor the coach driver.
I actually met Boy George only once, and it was not at John big. No, it was not at John Henry's in England. I forget the name of the place. Naomi or something like that. Anyway, one of the major rehearsal spots in London. And so in one room was Motorhead, and then in the middle was Culture Club, and the other room was the band I was working with, which was Exciter. And I remember Boy George being in the hallway, pretty much in tears because he couldn't rehearse because there was no way he was going to hear himself in that room, being
Yeah,
between two heavy metal bands.
yeah,
Wow.
That would have been in the mid '80s.
yeah.
Try to picture Lemmy running into Boy George in the lounge.
Yeah, yeah,
That would have been funny.
yeah. But Lemmy was actually a great guy.
Yeah, yeah, he really was.
He was a really great guy.
I knew him quite well because we used to go to the same club, the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And yeah, he kept to himself. I mean, you wouldn't have known that he was a really famous rock and roll star. I guess I didn't. He seemed to be like a normal human being, just like a normal, everyday kind of guy. That in those days, of course, he looked kind of strange, you know.
But
And people did know who he was. And now there's a statue of him at the Rainbow since he passed away. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that Motorhead it was just an experience. I only did one show. I was with Gary Moore, and we opened for him somewhere in Belgium. It was an outdoor show somewhere in Belgium, and it was the
At the
loudest.
church?
No,
At the
no,
church?
it was outdoor. It was raining. It was a miserable gig,
Okay.
but yeah, everybody there just loved it, and uh, and at that time that was the one of the first iterations of Gary Moore band with Ian Pace, Kenny Aronson, um, uh, gosh, who was I forget who was playing. Oh, Pino Palladino was in the band.
Wow.
So I mean that was a really good band.
A lot of
And
people don't know that Lemmy voted for Hendrix.
I can't hear a word you said.
I think he said something about Jimi Hendrix.
A lot of people don't know Lemmy Hendrix.
A lot
Well,
of people don't
let's just
know
say Jimi
something
Hendrix
Lemmy,
was
something
great. We
Hendrix.
agree with him. Something about Jimi Hendrix. There you go.
Lemmy roadied for Hendrix.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lemmy
that's right.
roadied.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, on the
Wow.
side of the Foo Fighters studio in whatever that is, Van Nuys, there's a giant picture of Lemmy.
Ah,
I did
Yeah,
about
like I said, at
6
the
countries.
Rainbow Bar and Grill, they've got pictures of him and a statue of him and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. I did about 6 countries touring with Motorhead in Europe.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
remember.
the crew was great.
Oh yeah,
Great to us. I mean,
great
great crew.
guys. Yeah.
And but I mean, it was. I could only stand on the stage while Motorhead was on for about a minute because it was loud.
Well,
Yeah.
there was this one time where instead of coming in from backstage, I came in from the front of the. It was like an arena, a small arena, And I come in from the front of house, and I'm walking to the FOH position, and I'm thinking, holy shit, it's really quiet today. Mid 100s, not the usual 116, And I think I forget what his name was. Anyway, I go to him and I said, "Geez, why are you so quiet today?" And he looks at me and he unmutes the PA.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And he didn't even look at the mute button. He just looked at me and unmuted. Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which was the loudest touring act of that era? Do you feel that
Deep
you've
Purple.
in Deep Purple?
Deep Purple had the Guinness Book of Records for the loudest show.
For a long time until there was a race. AC/DC broke it twice, and
I thought it
then
was Blue Cheer. I thought Blue Cheer was the loudest band on record.
Venom
And
beat
the-
them.
No, I knew Deep Purple was up
and
there.
then Iron Maiden beat them because they got every TMS 3 and every TMS 4 box on the planet in the same place at the same time. and now somebody else has broken that as well. But now, and that was all those records were done, pre-line array.
Yeah.
I don't know who owns the record on line arrays now, and why would you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think that now what's happening with line arrays is some bands are traveling with double line arrays, so one for vocals and instruments and the other one for drums and bass. So I think is it because they need more SPL, or it's because they don't need to hang so low? They could keep it high by, instead of having one long array, they could have one array for drums and bass and one array for vocals and instruments,
All right, I just used
Yeah.
Perplexity, and it says here the loudest band on record is widely recognized as Man O' War, who have recently set and broken records for concert loudness, peaking at 139 dB.
Yeah.
Ow, wow!
On the tour that I was talking about, it was Motorhead, Exciter, Man O' War, a German band, and then a local band. And so Man O' War was the third band on the bill. And that was
But
an
now-
interesting one.
But there's also DJs have set records now too. Yeah, that's a whole nother boat. But if we're talking about straight SPL,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because they're pushing low end so much. Those guys, and they don't have to worry about feedback. And,
Right.
they got subs now that, those, what's their name? Function as what is it? 31-inch drivers or 32-inch drivers or something like that. With I think 10K per sub. Just
Yeah, well, they
imagine
have
the
those in the
SPL.
clubs. They use those a lot in discos and and nightclubs.
Yeah.
By the way, you were right about Motorhead. Motorhead is in the Guinness Real Book of Records. They're Cleveland, 1984. Greg, you might have been there. 1984
Probably.
Cleveland gig was measured at 130 decibels.
Now, does
Cle-
it mention
Cleveland-
anything about these measurements?
And listen to this. It recorded damage to the building.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's low end. Yep.
yeah,
So Deep Purple was in the Guinness Book of Records for a long time. What was
yeah,
their level?
They were.
Yeah, but they were at a measly 117 dB,
And that
So-
was
so
all
does it-
done by that. I was just going to say that was IES who did that.
Analog PAs with
Yep,
raw power,
4550s, 4560s,
4560s, 2350 horns, and that
Yep.
kind of stuff. 2482 drivers. that go-
2440.
Yeah,
Yep.
they went loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a picture.
So I'm
Let me
wondering,
see
Jan,
I
if
can
it
find
mentions any of the parameters of those measurements, like A weighted,
No, it
C
doesn't.
weighted.
But to give those people listening that are not engineers or myself, I had to Google it myself, or AI it myself, and that is jet engine is 140 dB, so
Well, yeah.
120
What
to
distance though?
140.
What
So
distance
yeah,
are
there you go.
what distance
It's
are we
100
talking about?
meters.
Oh, that's
Oh,
It's
at
100
wow.
100
meters.
meters a jet engine? No way. At 100
Yeah,
meters, a jet engine is
No.
140? I don't think
Wow.
so. Maybe a
yeah.
rocket.
The decibel level of a jet engine typically ranges from 120 to 140 dB when measured at 100 meters.
Wow.
Wow.
That'd blow your blooming
It's
woofers
crazy.
snuffers.
A jet can reach
Yeah.
150 dB, which exceeds the threshold for pain.
So
Ken,
we've heard, yes.
yeah. So Ken, I
So if
don't
you're
remember what the PA was on the European tour that I did with Motorhead, but I remember the side fills. So are you familiar at all with the Martin PA? You know, the one with the filler
Shavers?
shaves.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Long ago.
the side fills was 4 double 15s, 2 filler shaves, 2 82, sorry, and then 2 24 20s. That was the side fills.
Wow.
It was insane. And the drummer had 4 Tycho Brahes stacked sideways behind him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
so if you're
Like
doing front of
loud.
house, there's an awful lot of spill going on.
Now, but anyway.
And in those
Let me-
days, it wasn't like you could easily like delay the PA to match that either. It was like it was just deal with the crap that it generated in the room.
I put in the chat it's a very small picture because but that was our Seattle Kingdom, one side of our Seattle Kingdom PA in 1975, I believe, 76.
Let's see if I
So
can find it.
I recognize the single 15 Martin's bins on top there.
yep.
And
No,
those
they're
are
double,
long
they're 2 by
throws, long
15s.
throws.
It has to be 76 or later because that's when the Kingdom opened.
Yeah, so it's 76 then. It was Aerosmith 76 then.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the
Wow,
Rocks tour.
that's a pile of stuff.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of 4560s there, boy. That snare must have sounded pretty big.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
like wait, 40.
We had
Those
It's
are
too small, I
4550s.
can't do
Holy
anything
shit,
with
the
it.
scale
Yeah.
of that picture is amazing. Those are on
Yeah.
the left side of the stack.
Yeah.
You see two silver dome speakers. That's in a 4550. How do
Those
you
are
get the
the
4550s up that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high 4550s. What the hell?
with a forklift.
Holy sheez.
You know, that was an amazing rig that we had. And those big largemouth bins we had on loan from Shoko. Those are high velocity, long throw 2 by 15s. They had Gauss 2 by 15s in them. And
long horns. So
yeah,
they really
those
projected.
things.
They
we
made it
use
to
this-
300 or 400 feet away, right?
Yeah.
Now on
We
the
Photo right now. You should be able to see it now.
yeah. Yeah,
So-
those long throws at the top. Also, too, the long throw mid-range horns are dual drive. So two 2482s going into
Oh
that
yeah,
horn.
that sounds so great too.
Yeah.
Just makes a lot of sound.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well-
but the bins on top, those are
Yeah.
Martin 2 by 15s.
No,
So
no.
there's
Okay, because they're too tall. Because
yes.
Okay. Because at that point there was 2 15s, one on top of each other, and then
Right.
when they went to the split bin, then there
Right.
was 2 to a bin, but on a single. Okay.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so Greg, did you do one-nighters with this?
No. Yeah, we did one-nighters with that.
I mean, how long? I just wonder how long it takes to set up each side. I'm guessing it's a couple hours just to do that stacking.
It took a day. It took all day to
okay.
set it up. I mean,
What were the input connectors?
What did you use for connectors for speaker?
What were the input connectors on the back of the speaker cabinet?
Because in my day, we were using Hubble twist locks.
Yeah,
you know.
we were using twist locks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twist lock what? Like a Hubble
Hubble.
Electrical connector.
Yeah, a Hubble
I
4-pin.
used I used the one that was a 2-pin so that it wouldn't be confused with power, you know.
We use 4 pins because we powered each individual speaker separately.
Oh man, that's amazing.
We had a guy up
So
here that built a bunch of boxes, and he used the trailer. The little connectors you use to hook up your trailer, your boat trailer or whatever.
oh yeah, those
And
flat
they were
plugs.
readily available at any auto parts place.
Yeah.
And it was a 4-pin insulated steel connector that, was just prior to the original Speak-On connector coming out.
Weren't those crimp-on? Crimp-on connectors?
I think it had a set screw inside. I never used them. By the time I started building my own stuff, it was Speak-On had come out.
So I got to ask, Kurt, did that person that used that connector reverse the polarities? I mean, reverse the sex so that you couldn't plug the speaker into the wall?
Well, he didn't have anything that would terminate to the wall. I mean, it was trailer connector, so there wasn't anything that went to Edison.
I just mean no, but I mean since that's a connector that could have power on it, like from a trailer, right, or something, right? No.
I don't think so. I think it was all such a specific.
So there was never any disasters like blowing up speakers because he used that connector.
Not that I'm aware of, but it wasn't
that's
that
good.
long
That's
lived
good.
as a thing.
Yeah.
I built an Edison to XLR connector and hung it on the wall in a venue once.
What
Hopefully it was a male Edison
Talking
to a
about-
female XLR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built. No, it was male Edison to male XLR actually.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What amplifiers would you been using back then, Greg?
DC 300As.
There you
Oh
go.
my God. A's, huh? A's. Wow. The A's were the good ones. Yeah, they really kicked.
And,
they
the whole-
rarely failed also.
The whole system was running 240. So, and I mean, those wings in that picture, those wings were 140 feet per side. And that whole PA fit in 4 semis. And there was 6 people on the sound crew.
Holy
That's it.
shit. And that's IES?
No, that's Tasco. Tasco bought IES.
Try another sound company. Yeah, right.
Hey,
Tasco.
hey.
Wait, I didn't
It's
know that
called the
Tasco bought
American
IES.
Sound Company, buddy.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, sorry.
There you go.
Let's try
Yeah.
another one.
And don't you forget it neither.
Yeah, don't
Yeah, these
forget it. Yeah.
companies
You
that
wanna tell
don't
me
exist
what I
any
used
longer.
to call A1? Yeah, or
Steak sauce? The steak sauce
yeah,
sound company?
Yeah.
I know what they used to call A1, but now it's not politically correct to say it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I never heard something that was politically incorrect.
Yeah.
To tell me
Oh,
privately
yeah.
sometime, Jan.
Yeah. No, I
Absolutely.
mean,
Well, just think of all the people that were working there.
No, the office. They worked in the office. You got to be specific.
yeah.
Oh, they worked in the office. Yeah, the back end people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is we weren't the only company out there doing that. Can you imagine where all those bins went? I mean,
Well, you know that A1 or maybe something else
Yeah.
one bought Tasco.
yeah,
So,
but the
somewhere.
remnants of it, yeah, you had
really?
the Harwells. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
what, so where do you think?
the reason why we bought Tasco, because I was involved in that, is because they had a huge amount of EAW, 850s, and we were a Meyer house, and we wanted to get into a more well-rounded PA system, and so we had a choice of either buying brand new or buying a company that had a lot of EAW and already set to go, and so that's what Al decided to do.
Yeah, but there's even in the world of Tasco, there's a huge difference between Tasco LA and Tasco in the rest of the world. There was Tasco Newburgh, New York, which was where they started in America, and then there was Tasco Europe, UK, and Tasco UK was bought out, split between 3 different companies. and they got all the good stuff. The people in LA, I left Tasco because, they were doing crazy shit, and
Well,
but
like Paul Newman was at Tasco, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there were two
They had a
partners. A
couple. They
guy
had a
by there
couple.
were three partners. I can't
John
remember
Lee, right?
the
Peter
uh,
Alexander.
Yeah.
and then
Wait,
there
Peter
was Joe
Alexander?
Brown in England.
Seriously? Because Peter Alexander was the guy I dealt with lighting before
Mhm.
or along the line somewhere.
Well, Peter Alexander was the head of Tasco when they first started in the U.S. And Peter worked for Joe Brown at MEH, and then Peter married Joe Brown's sister and became Tasco U.S.
Wow.
And then at the same time, Tasco bought IES America, and then later, because of regulatory issues in the UK, MEH and IES merged and became Tasco UK. So that's how all that happened. I was smack
Wow.
dab in the middle of it, being the first septic tank yank hired. Actually, I was part of the deal on the sale of IES. So
Yeah. You came
Quite
with IES, huh?
interesting. There we are in 6 degrees of separation, and we were like just like this close, this close.
yeah.
That's it. Just
Well,
like the
I mean,
Maxwell Smart.
David and I found out that, we were almost at the same gig together back in 74 at Madison Square Gardens
James Brown,
for,
Mandrill.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep. Yep. David was supposed to be there as an engineer, and then the band made a change or something like that.
I was
And
there. I was there.
oh, you were there. Okay. Well, I was there. I was Gray Ingram's guest.
What was
So
Greg Ingram doing?
Gray Ingram was doing front of house
Oh,
with
that's
another
Doobie.
guy. That's Doobie Brothers. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the RFK Stadium.
No, I'm not talking about RFK. Yeah.
Which one?
Only time I was talking about Madison Square Gardens with the Doobie Brothers with their community light and sound PA.
No, I wasn't there for that, but I was friends with David Hadler, who had.
No, you were supposed to be there,
Oh,
and yeah, you told me you were gonna get that gig
yes.
and work with Gray, and then or to replace Gray because
Oh, no, I was going to work with Gray. I was going to be the second engineer. I was going to be
yeah,
doing drums and percussion, and he was
yeah,
going to be in the band and vocals.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
it.
at any rate, Gray had hired me 3 years prior at the Columbus Agora. So talk about 6 degrees of separation. That
We're
kind of
not even that far away. I mean, I'd say we're 1 degree out of separation.
Yeah, but have any of you mixed the Bacon Brothers?
Yes.
No.
Did I ever tell you how close Greg and I became? We came this close to being brothers, actual brothers, when Greg was put up for adoption. No.
I was gonna say, holy shit.
Jan, could you give me permission to put a JPEG in the chat, please?
Sure, of course. You don't need permission. Just do it.
Well, I can't do it unless you give me permission to. I tried.
Everybody has permission. You just got to share it. That's it. Just click the green
I
button on the
copied
bottom.
and paste what I did
Okay,
when
let
I
me
put my
let me try that.
Yeah, everybody should have the ability to share. On the bottom of the screen, it's a green arrow.
Okay, let me try that.
I just did copy and paste to get that photo in. I
No,
didn't
it
think it
says-
was gonna work.
Yeah, it just says transfer of JPEG is restricted to your account by your account from the admin. So
Throw it up in the chat, and I'll share it for you.
That's what he's trying to do, isn't it?
Oh, I don't. Well, he has no restrictions on that. I have no restrictions on the chat.
okay.
I don't even have any. Everybody should have a green arrow at the bottom of their screen that says share.
Okay, let me
It's
try that.
different if you're logged in from your browser versus Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
I'm
had
gonna
the same problem.
Okay, I'm gonna try something else.
Yeah, just throw. You can't throw it in the chat either. What are you?
No.
How are you? How are you accessing Zoom?
Through Windows 10. So like through
So it's a browser.
Okay, Firefox.
Oh, so you're on a browser. That's why. But you should have access to the chat, right?
Yeah, I do. I can chat, but I cannot drop a JPEG in the chat. So I'm gonna try
Oh,
a
that's
different way.
that's probably the Windows side of it.
You can't
Okay.
drag it. You have to upload a photo from your computer and then
Ah.
go click on the icon of the file on your desktop.
Okay.
You
let me
can't
see.
drag anything into the chat, no matter what protocol you're in.
Okay. So
Well,
repeat that,
I
Kurt.
just did what Greg did, and that is I copied it in the Finder, copied that file, and then pasted it in the chat window, and that
I'm gonna
worked.
try that. I'll try that.
Yeah,
you
but
just
you're
can't
on a
drag it in.
Mac, Kenny.
Right, but it's still essentially the same thing in Windows, unless there's
If
some
he's on
restrictions.
Firefox, he's on a Mac also.
No, you can have Firefox on a Windows 10.
Oh, you can? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really use it. I don't use it.
Yeah, I don't see what you put in the chat, Kenny.
I just now put it
Okay,
there.
it's there. It's coming in now.
It was just a test. It was just a
So
test.
what did you
Oh,
do,
very
Ken?
nice test.
Repeat what you did, Ken.
In the Finder window, which would be the same as your desktop or something.
Explorer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Explorer. Yeah, you. I just
Right mouse click.
highlight.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that.
So Ken, what's the
Copy.
loudest band?
Choose copy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did
but
that.
I'm in the app, not in the
Oh,
browser.
that's why.
No.
what's-
If you go to the file, right click on it and then choose copy,
I
then
did
go over
that.
to the chat and then paste.
Yeah, I did that. I'm doing all
And
that.
it should go in.
Something is not
Yeah.
transfer of JPEG file is restricted by your account admin.
Are you on the
Okay,
Canadian
that's
version
on your
of
side,
Firefox?
not my side.
Maybe it's not Jan the admin, but on your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
can do
I am allowing everybody to share the screen.
Okay.
Everyone can share screen.
Okay. So I'll draw something else.
So
No problem, guys.
Okay,
No
or you
problem.
could send it to me and I'll put it in there.
Okay.
He's on the Canadian version of Firefox.
Oh, is that what it is?
So Ken, what's the loudest band you ever worked for?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I did a Metallica show, but I didn't mix or anything. But I left before they got into the sound check too heavily. It was pretty loud.
Iron Maiden Donington for me, with Doug Hall mixing on a KDAC. So that was their own KDAC.
Lots
The
of
The
headroom
loudest
in that
show
house.
the loudest show I was ever with was Lawrence Welk.
A one and a two. Be on your toes, the boys.
Yes, for all the boys in the band.
Yeah.
That's still
Yeah.
on. I wonder if anybody's getting royalties, residuals. Everybody's got to be dead that was ever on the show originally.
I'm
No,
sure
I used
the
to.
estate is.
I don't know why I just thought of this joke. Is whereas Kenny G walked onto an elevator that was playing music, and he says, "Man, this is happening."
Have you guys seen the Lawrence Welk where they cover one toke over the line?
Ugh.
Have you? It's a real
With the
thing.
Lawrence Welk Orchestra plays One Toke Over the Line.
Google one toke over the line, Lawrence Welk, and it was going to blow your mind.
Wow.
Oh man, that's amazing. That is amazing. Good for Lawrence Welk.
All they heard was the word "Sweet Jesus," and they thought it was like a Southern, religious song. And they do the whole song, and it's about being too high to get on the train.
They didn't know, huh? They didn't know.
They didn't know, but I got a feeling a couple people in the rhythm section probably knew.
Yeah, musicians are cool all over the world.
So, Ken, that was your little
Ken.
mixer? That was the first mixer you had, that little one you put up in the chat?
It was called a Gately Pro Kit, and here's the interesting part about it. So it was a $250 kit, and of course I built the kit because I knew how to build kits. And but then here's what I did was I copied the circuits in there, and I made my own circuit boards. And since my father sold electronic parts, I put all the parts in there, and I made my own mixers using those circuits from that mixer.
Oh, very good.
Is that the one that says 249, 499?
Yeah, 249 kit form, $500 built already.
Were they ETIs?
Reason. Sorry.
Were they ETI or JCar? Or neither?
Oh, what are we talking about?
The brand name, the company used to make kits was ETI. They used to
Oh no,
make.
this was
Heathkit.
this.
No.
Oh, Heathkit, you're talking about. But no, this was actually a company called Gately. That's a small company in Pennsylvania, and they
Okay.
made some. They made some non-kit mixers that were interesting, and then they made. Then they came out with this Pro Kit series. And the reason I had that readily available in my Finder window is because I'll put another picture in the chat there that I saw recently on the Clare Brothers Facebook group, and it was early picture of the Clare Brothers with a rack of mixers and a rack of
Oh,
power
yeah,
amps.
yeah.
Did you see
I
that
saw
picture?
that too.
And I was
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
figure out. I was trying to figure out what the mixers were that were above the Altec mixers. And Gately's, well, Gately was a guy. Ed Gately was the company, and his son Chris Gately is on Facebook. So I asked him, and he told me what they were. But I thought at first they were Pro Kits. Anyway, let me find it.
I put the Lawrence Welk link in the chat.
I saw that.
And
Yeah.
Ken, I sent you that link.
You did? How'd you send
A
it?
picture. I sent him a picture. Sorry, I sent a picture to him
All right.
How'd you send it?
by email.
Ken, you could share that picture if you like. Make it easy for me.
I've seen that picture there you put up, Ken. That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Back in the day. So did anyone get to use back in that 70s era, the 7-foot RCAWs for bottom end, the full size ones?
No.
So there was the compact version, which was 5 foot long, and the full size one was 7 foot.
I remember I've seen them in Syracuse, New York, the War Memorial Theater. It was a regular stop if you were touring. And back in the 70s, they had those W bins on either side of the stage. Like
The 7-footers.
Yeah.
You can
And
put.
I was
Carry
just
on,
going to
Greg.
say we always used to bitch about them because they took up where we were gonna put our PA, so we just stacked around them. You know?
They fitted 4 Roy boxes on top, the next to each other. They were. I've seen them a couple of times. I remember seeing them real early with a band artist called Richard Clapton. He came to the local university here, and he had that was a great show. He's a great artist, but I don't know what year that was. Maybe 81 or something. I can't remember now. 82 maybe. Anyway, I just wondered. I thought there might have been bucket loads of those in the 70s and 80s over in the States because that's where they hail from.
Wow, that's a long time ago. That was before I was born. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah. There, Wayne, are you a member of the Time Machine of Sound Facebook group?
I think I did join that at some point.
Well, there was a post in it over the weekend, I believe, about they didn't know who the sound company was in Australia with an all-white PA with the faces. So back in the day, I figure that you might be able to chime in with some learned knowledge in that group.
Well, there was a pink PA.
Yeah,
Well, I
but
don't know about-
I mean,
I think
Rod
there was
Stewart in the Faces. They were famous. Anytime they were the first people touring that time. That always wanted to use a white PA. You know, at least on stage.
Was that in the
Mama had a white
70s?
PA.
Was that in the 70s? I
Abba.
wasn't old enough in the 70s I was just starting to get involved in the whole thing, but I do remember something of that, but I couldn't tell you any details on the.
Well, you
on
might
that.
be able to recognize the cabinets. Is what I'm.
I thought what were they called? Wasn't there a company that made guitar amps and everything that had white flares on their PA boxes from the States?
I remember Heil used to have purple, right?
And Marshall used to make amps. I don't think they ever made
Now, what
PA
was
speakers.
I actually think they did
Heil
earlier
had
on.
white horns as well as purple horns,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Community-
maybe
See,
Heil.
that's something I just learned. I didn't even know Heil made PA. I thought they only made microphones, and their microphones
Oh,
are
that
great.
microphone is a recent-ish thing.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, it
Uh,
was. Didn't they make mixers and everything? They made
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything you needed for a PA.
Pretty interesting. Hey, listen, guys, we're getting near the point of no return.
Wait.
So I just want to say, if there's anything that you got burning on your chest that you got to get off, and this is the time to talk to the people that have, the true masochists that have listened to the whole show up to this point.
I had to take my AirPods freeze
Now's
out
your
when
time.
everybody was talking at the same time because the spatiality of it, it was like I was in the center of the circle and y'all were just yelling at me at the same time. And I just
Well,
said,
that's the settings. That's the settings. I am so looking forward to buying a pair of those. They say that the noise cancellation ability of those are the best there is.
well, Jen,
So
if you want, I could order another pair and I'll ship them to you in Thailand.
well, the problem with that right now is there's no mail service. There's no mail service between, and you'd have to send it
No, it's
through.
the other way. I can send them out.
Yeah, but the tax would be too great. So
Okay.
I'm just going to wait for them to offer them here, which is in one more month. They will be here. Actually, I'm going to Bangkok next week. It's my wife's birthday, and for her birthday present, I'm taking her to Bangkok. She wants to go shopping, so we're going to do that,
Go to
and
Centrum.
it's going to be great. Oh, I love MBK.
Oh,
I can't wait
MBK
to
is
go there.
even better. MBK
Yeah.
is far better than Pantip. Pantip was
Oh
fun
man,
because
yeah,
back in
it's not the same.
it's not the same. Yeah, in the
Not the
2000s,
same.
Pantip was the place, and
Yes, I loved it. I loved
they
it.
had very cheap software there too.
Well, I can't wait to get some more stuff from my background. I love the lights and stuff. I want to get some other stuff to make a bigger impression and a better impression. But anyway, listen, guys, thanks for watching. This has been our 279th episode of Thinking Out Loud with Friends of SoundBroker. We're going to add that in there, yeah. And just remember, everything you heard today is an opinion. So do your own research and come join us for 280 next Wednesday. And the time and place, you know where it is, so I don't have to say any more than that. And the last thing I'm going to say is always, you make it happen. So go out, have a great week, and stay healthy. And if you need to talk to somebody about prostate cancer or anything else that's on your mind, you know how to reach me. Remember to give it the thumbs up, on the show, and share the show, and tell anybody that you know that we're here for you. So thanks for watching. You make it happen. Hey, have a great week. Bye, everybody. And let me just let everybody wave goodbye. I'll switch it over to the gallery view, and we could all wave goodbye, and we'll go off the air. All right, we're
But
off.
Denis, so what's the story behind